How's it going, boys? Welcome back to
Mogul
Mogul Mail. In this
Mail.
video, we're going to talk about women. Stick around to the end because we're going
Me? Women? Mogul Mail is PBW? Okay.
to solve
I'm
sexism
excited.
in this video. Now, I haven't posted in a couple weeks because nothing's inspired me, but I saw a tweet from It's Timmy, the Apex Legends god and good friend of the stream, that said my clips were taken out of context in a video that invalidates and diminishes the experiences of women. And, you know, I was curious. So I clicked on the video and I watched what I can only call the Ocean's 8 of YouTube videos. Just a hot, stinking
Wait,
pile
I
of
actually
garbage.
want to watch the
and
video.
It is titled, How Feminist Ideas Make Everyone Weak. Now, we're going to go.
Wait, is this free to watch? Hold on, I'm gonna actually search it up. The video was tragic. Huh? This one?
The number of female gamers
Is this even worth watching? Or should I just watch the other one? Maybe I just watch this. We'll watch Lud's thing.
Go through a lot of this. You can see all the notes at the top and really dissect this video and why it has zero information. Now, the general idea of this video is responding to a BBC News video.
Guys, do you think it's better if I put chat on this side or chat on top of my camera? Any opinions? You think it's better here? On top? Okay.
Women in esports and how the gender diversity isn't all there and how it's mostly weighted towards men and it's difficult for women in the space. I want to preface this by saying I think the BBC's piece is pretty shit. It's like every boomer news piece of media. Surface level, it doesn't add a lot of value.
Guys, when I first ever heard the term incel, I actually had no idea like what it was. So my first thing was like, after I kind of like heard the term, when I was not streaming, I went on Urban Dictionary to see what that definition is. And then I was like scouring the World Wide Web. And then I watched a video by ContraPoints, which is like a really well-known YouTuber who makes a lot of like well thought out, well-produced skits on certain topics. And there was one by ContraPoints that was about incels, and I was like, holy shit, I learned so much that day. Yeah, it's pretty cool. ContraPoints is great. I was actually kind of in the middle of watching one about envy, but I never finished it. I was like watching it and then I fell asleep. But I was watching one in bed. It's interesting. If you're in the mood to kind of like learn through kind of like her, is that her pronoun? Or is that their pronoun? I'm not sure. I think it's her, right? I think, right? Her name's like Natalie something. I don't remember. But, what is it? If you're ever interested in learning about like certain topics through like very well thought out, intricate skits and like dialogue and that kind of stuff, it's very interesting to watch. Very funny too. There's a lot of like there's a lot of humor in it.
And it's mostly a clickbait title for 45-year-olds to click on, so BBC makes a bit of money. It's useless. But let's dive in because I think the points that this creator brings up are even worse than the original BBC video.
Research from esportsearnings.com shared exclusively with the BBC found that there are no female players in the top 100 or
John, I've been
the
for 7 months.
top 200. You have to go all the way down to 338th to trans player Scarlet to find a female player.
Crazy.
Scarlet.
The next female top earner isn't until 680th.
I guess it's just like real sports. But seriously, do you want to know how I know this is just a grift and these media companies don't actually care about the fairness they're claiming to care about? Think back to all the times you've heard the term male-dominated field and ask yourself, have they ever once said, oh my god, this female-dominated field has no men in it. We need to change that in the name of equality. I haven't, and I watch this stuff for a living. There's a gender disparity in nursing, school teachers, and wedding planners.
Okay. Alrighty, off rip, this is an easy one. I Googled this. This took me about 15 minutes. People do talk about it quite often, actually. There's a big disparity in the amount of women nurses versus male nurses, which is a problem that they've been trying to address. Here's an NPR article about why more men don't get into the field of nursing, and it talks a lot about the gender stereotypes that prevent men from joining. Here's an article from a journal about nursing that said it's time to recruit more men. Here's a damn Supreme Court case. There's a Supreme Court case because someone tried to apply for a women's nursing school, got rejected because he was a man, and the Supreme Court overturned it because that is sexist.
That
and
doesn't make
of course,
any sense.
the amount of male nurses has tripled
Let's
since the
Google
70s
tab.
because the efforts that people have gone
Insane.
into increasing male nurses. So already a useless piece of information given out by the creator, but let's keep going.
According to games analyst Newzoo, nearly half the world's gamers are now female.
This must mean that 50% of high-ranking players should be women. Except wait, it turns out that when you specify what kind of games people play, women don't like to play the same types of games. So when you say 50% of gamers are female, you're talking about things like Candy Crush and Farmville, not games.
So he brings to the point that they say 50% of gamers are women. So, 50% of the people who play it should be top players that are women. But it turns out that
I'm already annoyed by not only the points this guy tries to bring up, but also his fucking voice. Sorry. I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm getting triggered. My blood pressure is going up. My blood pressure.
Of the people who play the esports aren't women. 50% of people who play Dota aren't women. And he even goes into this.
Earlier they said Dota 2, right? What percentage of women play that game? 20%. What about another popular competitive game like Fortnite? 27%. Higher than Dota, but you can still see that there are way more male players than females, so it statistically makes sense for almost all the top players to be male.
Okay, going through that logic for a moment, let's just draw on that string. If 20% of the players are female, then through his logic, 20% of the top players should be female, or at least a close enough number. The actual statistic, I looked this up, is 1 in 1,000. That's it. There is one woman in the top 1,000 highest earning Dota players. She earned $4,000. That is 0.1% compared to the 20% who make up the entire player base.
Especially when you're in an environment where it's winner take all.
And that doesn't even make any damn sense. You think the international's winner take all? Have you ever seen an esports tournament in your damn life? That'd be insane. You walk away with $40 million, and second place walks away with a thumb in their ass. It's usually like a 45%, 40%, maybe 50% if you're generous towards first place, and then the other 50% spread over to like the next usually 7 spots. That's how a tournament goes. So I don't think you've ever seen a damn esports tournament in your life, but fair enough. Let's go to the next point.
Marketing. There are certain things that men are naturally attracted to, and there are certain things that women are naturally attracted to. Good marketers figuring out what that stuff is, and then...
Okay, he brings up a point that there's a natural attraction for men to be drawn to certain games like Call of Duty or Apex Legends. You know, the natural attraction. Like when men are born, how they're all naturally interested in going onto an oil rig 3,000 miles into the middle of the ocean. Like that innate feeling you have in your plums when you're born. Or how men are naturally attracted to the color blue.
Do you guys have the natural attraction to do
attracted to the
oil
color
rig,
pink,
guys?
Except wait, that's a new thing that marketers developed in the 20th and 19th century. You know, pink used to be the color for boys. This is true. You can look it up. They switched. There was even a quote from like a trade newspaper that said the generally accepted rule is pink is for boy and blue is for girl.
Oh,
it's not natural. It's just what we have conditioned ourselves to like from what society is pushing, and then it gets reinforced.
Pink looks great on guys, by the way.
A natural joy of video games doesn't exist.
Actually.
They think women are being put off because of a misogynistic and immature culture in grassroots gaming. Something female gamers are increasingly highlighting online.
Why are guys so unoriginal with their smack talk on Call of Duty?
Go back to the dishes. I know a bunch of boomers wrote this, so BBC might not be aware
of this.
Go back to the dishes. But for like 15 plus years, you've been able to mute players who say things you don't like.
Okay. This point blows my mind. He's right. You can mute players who harass you, but the main problem generally is that women get into every single lobby, and every single lobby is someone harassing them. So it's just nonstop, and then it ruins an entire play session. Now, I saw this article that blew my mind from Lenovo that said 59% of the surveyed women use non-gendered or male identity when playing
And
games.
thank you so much for
Just
gifting
to
a sub to
avoid
Fat Eater.
coming across as a woman so they won't get attacked.
you.
They've gone a step beyond muting. They've already figured this out. In fact, you can see this entire series, which is funny in a terrible way, from a creator named Spontaneous, where she documents all the harassment she receives while playing a game. She started this series in 2018 and is still ongoing 4 years later. Let's just watch this clip.
Oh my god, you're terrible.
This is Tarkov? Question
Coming
mark?
on Cool Vibes.
Yeah, we didn't ask. We really didn't.
I want you guys to note.
Oh, it's
this
Rainbow
is round
Six.
1.
Siege.
Round 1 of a competitive game where muting obviously
I thought it
makes
was
you less
Tarkov for some
effective
reason.
and less able to win a game.
yeah, this is
Communicating
Rainbow Six
is the
Siege.
main function of winning any 5v5 tactical shooter.
Hello, Udons.
Behind you. Behind you on stairs.
No one's here.
One friendly operator remaining.
Where is he?
He's right straight
that room.
you know, behind that wall, right in, there you go, there you go.
Op 4
I'm surprised.
Okay. Insane to say I'm surprised. They go on to say some sexist shit, but look at the leaderboard real quick. Fucking hard carried 4 kills in the first round. Actually hard carried.
Oh my
and then this
god,
is
they're
what
a
happens
group of
around.
friends. They have matching names. It says Daddy Eric, Daddy Justin, Daddy Derek. They're like a fucking group of sexist pieces of crap. Disgusting.
I'm gonna have to fucking carry their
Yeah,
god.
listen to her call it's woman.
This-
Alright, men, let's move in. This is a
All
man's job.
right, men. Also, ads just played, so I'm gonna pause for a second. Time to jam. Boop boop ba da ba da ba da. Damn, I don't actually want to listen to any of these. What the heck is this? Wait, when did I make a new playlist? Delete. Delete. What is this? Hmm. 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 I'd like to apologize for my gender discarding ways. That's okay. I also apologize. It's okay. As long as you guys keep each other in check, it'll be okay. What are we watching? Lud's Mogul Mail video. What is this one? Ah, I can't click it. 100 black pill beliefs in one video. Okay, I'll put this in my watch later. Let me know when the ads are over. Should be kind of soon. Yeah, I just finished watching that video. Pokey vlog. Is there a new Pokey vlog? Because I feel like I watched the other one already. Did she release another one? The one 3 days ago, I already watched it. Alright, let's continue. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say something. Man, I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Old.
Look, it just blows my mind that the takeaway is, hey, just mute, and not, hey, maybe people could just be like, I don't know, like a little less sexist, like a little less aggressive just because someone happens to be a woman, and maybe just respect them based off the quality of their gameplay. And this comment is echoed by this person.
Just on the day to day, like
Cloud9.
if you're a girl, you don't get the luxury of just having a bad game. It's like because you're a girl.
People are
That's
rude in video
true.
games. Women most affected. Allow me to poll the audience. Raise your hand right now if you've ever played an online game where someone said something mean to you. Everybody.
Yeah. But the difference is people say things mean to me based off me being shit at the game or
Yes.
saying something dumb, not
Yes.
just because when I talk, I have a voice that is a woman's voice. You know, it's a similar thing that kids deal with. I had a problem when I was young where I had a squeaker voice and I would talk and I would get roasted because of my squeaker voice. It's like an intrinsic quality about me and not because I am dog shit at the video game. I am cool with people being mean because I am bad or do something dumb.
Yes.
I'm not cool with people being mean because I have a trait that I cannot change about myself.
Yes.
And he
Facts.
goes on to
Mark.
to quote a Pew Research article from 2014.
I think when people attack someone based on something they can't change or like something that is like a physical appearance thing, I think it's the dumbest shit ever. Like when someone tries to like attack someone based on their physical appearance or like their weight, their like what their face looks like or like whatever. That's just so, I don't know, it's just so dumb. And then also obviously the comments about, you know, being a girl. I think it sucks because it's like there are an equal amount of people that are, you know, guys, girls, or any gender, whatever you identify with, that suck at a certain game. But there are people who are always going to attack you and say you are bad, not because you are just bad, but because you're a girl or like you're of the female gender, which is really dumb and it doesn't make any sense at all. Like it actually doesn't. Because there's also a lot of like guys who are not as good as some girls at certain games, you know? But they're never going to say like, oh, you're bad because you're a guy. Never. That would never be a thing.
And talks about how men actually deal with more harassment online.
They mean to you.
No.
Everybody raised their hand, right? This is not exclusive to women. Here's data from Pew Research about online harassment from 2014. Most of the categories are even. Look, it says here that men are 7% more likely to be harassed online than women are when you look at all types of harassment.
Okay, that's a 2014 article from Pew Research. Pew Research does this article often. I don't know why he went back to 2014. Again, this video was posted literally a couple months ago. They did a 2017 version and then a 2021 version. I looked it up, and it turns out that if you do the more recent one, the numbers have changed a bit, interestingly enough, and the amount of gendered harassment has increased from 20% to 33% among those who were harassed
Oh my God.
from 2017 to 2020.
I was going to say another thing I wanted to say was if there are any guys in the chat and you ever hear or see another guy picking on another girl, I would encourage you guys to speak up for the girl, because a lot of the times, even if the girl speaks up for herself and she can and is capable of doing that, other guys won't listen to her unless another guy speaks up. And it's fucked up like that because it's like pride and ego, but they won't listen unless another guy tells them to shut up or like says something, and they'll like actually feel like attacked if it comes from another guy, but they won't feel attacked if it comes from a girl because they don't see girls like as an equal. So it doesn't matter what they say.
So it turns out that this is becoming more of a problem. Maybe we should look at newer stats. You can look right here that men are more likely to be harassed based on their political views, and women are more likely to be harassed based on their gender. That's the
not
problem.
very
That's
morbid
what
of
we're
you.
talking about. That's what the BBC is trying to know. Not just, raise your hand if someone said something mean to you once. And then he goes on this weird tirade. I'll let it play.
This is one of the fundamental differences between men and women that feminists don't get because they think that men's words mean the same thing that women's words do. Men and women have different experiences, so in a lot of situations, their words and expressions...
So here's the thing. I don't think you guys should be... Okay, so first of all, being called a shrimp for standing up for someone is stupid and false. And secondly, if anybody ever says to you like, oh, she's not gonna like have sex with you or whatever just because you stand up for a girl, you literally can just say, hey man, I'm just trying to be a decent fucking human being. Why don't you try that sometime? Like, don't feel like you're being attacked because what they're saying is so stupid. Like, just being just a decent human being, just standing up for someone who needs, like, who, you know, who should be stood up for. And if someone calls you a shrimp, like, they're dumb as fuck. Dumb. That's a stupid thing to say.
In these kinds of situations, I think that women tend to be more indirect and polite. So they'll say something nice, but really intend something mean, while men will say the worst possible things to each other and not mean it at all. It's a part of a game. Women who don't get that will think it's serious and take the commentary personally when it's more about playful banter.
Okay. First of all, none of that made any fucking sense. Look, 98% of rapes are done by men. 98% of mass murders are done by men. Some men mean it. I mean, that's just a fact. Men say the worst things and don't mean it. I don't think is any substance of a sentence at all. I think it's just an excuse to be like, yeah, no, let me say a couple of slurs in a Call of Duty lobby. Tee-hee. I don't know. I think I should be allowed.
Sorry, small interruption, but I just realized my title of the stream says "We are super chillin' tonight." Meanwhile, I'm cussing every other word. I'm so triggered by this video. Okay, anyways, keep going. We'll keep going. We're chilling. We're actually chilling, right?
That's the only value
we're
of that
chilling.
sentence. Doesn't make
We're
any
chilling,
damn
chat.
sense.
We're actually chilling
Here's
right
an
now.
example of that behavior on the stream of a professional Apex Legends player who goes by It's Timmy.
Now, he tries to back up the argument that men don't mean what they say by using this clip of Timmy in an Apex Legends game. He's on a Discord call with his friends. Just watch.
I killed one.
I was actually wondering about this.
He's low.
About Timmy's tweet.
Buzz one. He's trying to thirst. For armor. Nice. Beat him.
He full killed you? What a bitch, bro.
See? He just laughs off the insult because it's not serious.
He laughs off the insult because it was directed to someone who couldn't hear the insult. They were privately talking in a Discord and mad because he got thirsted.
There's no way. They randomly just picked out a Timmy tweet, a Timmy clip, and then just like twisted the narrative to fit his point. What? Crazy.
Insult directed at someone. It's just the dumbest example possible. You could have used a clip of someone directly calling a girl and then Timmy laughing at it. But here's the thing, that doesn't exist because Timmy wouldn't stand for that.
And it's fun because it gives guys a chance to say all the things that we aren't allowed to say everywhere else.
Oh, there's another one?
Which is why I don't appreciate companies like the BBC and Vice using this fake news to further censor male spaces.
If you want to say the N-word in your basement, you can do it. No one's going to fucking know. I don't know why this is an argument that we should be able to say the mean shit that we inherently want to say because we're men. We want to say mean shit, but we don't mean it. But we need to fucking say it because we need a release because we feel like plums.
Men aren't going around trying to change the culture of female spaces, so please stop doing it to ours. Feminists have destroyed so many male spaces that we can't even have the Boy Scouts.
Now, I love this point, the Boy Scouts point, because here's what happened. The Boy Scouts rebranded to BSA, which stands for, by the way, Boy Scouts of America. Here are the subsequent things that followed after that change. The Mormons, who were one of the largest donors to the Boy Scouts, left because they were so upset about it because it didn't have the word boys in it. They didn't make enough money. They filed for bankruptcy. In their bankruptcy filing, they admitted that over 92,000 former Scouts had been sexually abused by members of the organization. Oh no, we lost our male space. What's going to happen to the future boys who won't be able to get sexually abused? This is such an L. Let's go back to boys like the good old days when we could do harassment for free. What a terrible, terrible example.
God.
He then goes on to use It's Timmy in another example, specifically where It's Timmy de-escalates a situation and talks about how this is how women should de-escalate situations. Now, they have zero bearing on each other. Timmy
they used another Timmy clip?
Gendered insults or anything. It's just someone who's mad that he got free kills, but I'll let it play.
Okay. Stop.
That was It's Timmy again, a professional Apex Legends
what
streamer and competitor. As in someone who is actually good at the game, and that's how he handles toxic players. He doesn't scream back at them and yell at them like that girl did. What happened was they were playing a ranked game, and the Bloodhound guy who was mad got killed first. The other team realized they were fighting a famous streamer and gave him 3 free kills. Timmy's teammate who died is pissed because Timmy just got a bunch of points for those kills, whereas the guy who died got nothing. Despite the guy's behavior, Timmy tried to de-escalate the situation by saying stop calmly and assertively. He didn't yell at him like the other girl did.
You guys, listen. As I know, as triggering as the vocals may be, we have to look past it.
And he even revived the disgruntled teammate as a sign of good faith after the abusive commentary.
Easy, by the way. Women, if you haven't already figured it out, this is one way. Just say stop, and then all men will stop. Now, this is obviously a dumb point, but I don't need to tell you guys that. I can look at Timmy, who did all of that by saying, I do not agree with any of the ideals portrayed in this video at all and believe we as a community should do better. Now, the guy who made this video is like gold in Apex Legends and looks up to Timmy because he went from bronze to predator. And I want you to know, man, Timmy doesn't give a fuck about you and probably thinks you're a piece of shit for your ideas. I wouldn't use him as examples because I don't think he's on your side, brother. Now, let's go to the next point.
Because there's no existing support there, a lot of female gamers don't want to go pro. Genji has been making strong efforts towards building a program of female gamers. You know, develop them, find coaches, you know, coach up these female talent, scout them out, and then really just make it worth their while to
Timmy, stop feminism and
why does it need to be a program of female gamers? Why can't it just be a program of the best players?
They have that. What a useless point. They have both. Genji has a Valorant team, the normal Valorant team with the best 5 players, nothing special. And it turns out they're kind of fucking dog shit. And they also have a women's Valorant team that's totally separate, that tries to support women to make it more normalized in the space. They're also fucking dog shit.
Oh,
shout out to Genji. Both teams suck, but they have both. So a moot point altogether. Next point. In this point's kind of weird. The whole second half of the video is about a 15-minute saga of the creator talking about this esports player named Maddie and how she would be better if she was more like Mr. Beast. Now, I don't want to play it. There's actually like 4 different Mr. Beast clips, and it's basically saying that she should train for more hours and try harder. I'll play one clip.
Once they get to this part of the show, another reason why Madison isn't doing well becomes apparent. Her coach sucks.
They've been practicing for months, so once we're here, my strategy is more to just make sure they're comfortable, go get them, you know, an energy drink, some water, just really do everything outside of the game so they can focus on just the game.
Yeah, it's fucking Fortnite, bro. What do you expect? It's one of the worst esports. It's basically RNG half the time. And
men and women gamers should be together. Yeah, I agree. I actually think, yeah, I used to be part of Genji as one of their creators, but I mean, I didn't have anything to do with their professional team, so listen, people can have their opinions. It's fine. What I was going to say is I do believe that they shouldn't separate, like, women and men teams. They should just have them together. I think it's like, I understand why they are made, but I disagree with them being that way. Because it's like, well, I was going to compare it to the Olympics, but the Olympics do separate them. But that's kind of different because based on actual biology though, right? Because of like height, weight, muscle, and all that other stuff. That makes a little more sense. But in gaming, I feel like there's no actual like physical difference. Because gaming is just eyes and coordination and motor and, you know, I mean, everybody should be the same there, right? There's no, like, it's not like if I have bigger biceps, I can game better than you. Chess also separates them. Really? Chess? I wonder why. I guess because it's old. They don't separate, just have different titles. Oh, interesting. It's good for chess though, is it? I don't know. I think like, it's like I understand it, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's better for the general public to see that women are also participating in, it's like the league, you know, it's not like there's a women and a men league and it's like you're the top of this, but not the top of that. It should just be like merge together. And if you're the top, you're the top. And it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. I mean, ideally, that's how it should be. But I'm not the one forking up the money to create these things, you know, so.
And yeah, it's more of a meme when it comes to esports than something like a Valorant or a CSGO.
No, that's not your job. And if you think it is, then you're an assistant, not a coach.
Fair enough, but also weird tangent to go on for 15 minutes. Maddie even saw this and posted, "I'm dying rewatching the video. There's no way this dude takes my portion of a documentary out of context. Who the fuck wouldn't be pissed by not being able to play all 10 of their games because of power outage in a row? What the fuck? I was 2 points away." Yeah, she was basically 2 points away from qualifying. Her row of TVs and monitors shut off, so she couldn't play out her game and then didn't qualify. And his logic to that was try harder and be more like Mr. Beast, which has about as much value as me saying, Jimmy Butler, you should maybe just shoot more three-pointers in practice and try a little bit harder and maybe spend a few more hours, and then maybe you wouldn't have missed this shot in Game 7 against the Celtics. You just didn't want it enough, unlike Mr. Beast, who does want it enough. Maybe next year, who knows? Now, look, that's about all the substance of this video, and it brings a good point up, which is that 600,000 people believe that this is accurate, and there are...
Girls are discouraged from playing video games, so the general pool is smaller, and it's harder to find highly skilled women. It's not because women can't be as skilled, but ultimately more women are encouraged to do just about anything other than play. So I do agree with that. I do think, well, yeah, I do agree with that. It's definitely not because women are not capable of doing it. I do think that from the get-go, it is not necessarily like the most desired thing as you're growing up. It also really depends on like the environment you grow up on. Like your average normie family that doesn't do much gaming at all. Like I think gaming on the outside looks more like it's for boys. Like, ooh, video, like, you know, boys play video games and girls play with dolls or whatever. But that's just what society brought them up to do, right? But like if as a parent, like you allowed your children to do whatever the freak they wanted to do, that is a really weird Lud face. But anyways, like, so me growing up as a child, like I grew up with an older brother who's 10 years older than me. And also I grew up really closely with my mom's side of the family. And my mom's side of the family has 12, I have 12 cousins and they're all boys. So growing up, we hung out a lot and I gamed with all my guy cousins and my brother. So I grew up with a ton of gaming. You know what I mean? Like I would cry if I can't play games with them. And they would always like, because I was the baby of all my cousins. Like I was the youngest and I was a girl. I was the youngest girl. So I was very like they would always give up their spot for me in like Nintendo or like when we were playing like Mario Kart or like whatever. Or like if we had a Game Boy, they would always let me play on the Game Boy. But the thing that I did that was common courtesy, which I thought was pretty thoughtful, was like they always had Pokemon Red on their Tetris. And every day I would go to my cousin's house and I would turn on my Game Boy and I would play Pokemon Red from the beginning, but I would never save. So the next day I go back, I start from the beginning and I just speed run every single day the same thing because I don't want to save over their save file. I was pretty considerate for like a 7-year-old. So I would just play the same thing over and over again, but I never got tired of it. I just got better and better at speed running the intro. So I just like go over it again and then like continue to progress. But anyways, yeah, so I grew up with gaming. So it was like normal for me to want to game. But I think a lot of other families and people, like they don't really grow up with that. And I feel like depending on their parents, they might be encouraged to do other stuff, you know, maybe like dancing or like music or cooking or, you know. Let me unpause Lud from this face.
There are a lot of weird, forced ways that people try to include women in the space. but I think the best way comes from Dr. K. And I think this is how I personally would try to address anytime I see someone who's being sexist in a lobby.
Do you know who the best female
fucking
counselor? I don't
harassing
know.
Someone. And I'll let Dr. K take it away.
Dr. K
is toxic towards a woman. You don't have to attack them. You don't have to defend. You got to say, hey, man, you think you can cool it a little bit? Like, do you really think what you're doing is decent? And then what do? They start calling you a simp.
Oh my God, this is what I just said.
You don't have to fight him. You don't have to convince him. You don't have to do any of that shit. You don't have to show him you're right. That's all you say. Like, hey, man, can you lay off? And then if he keeps going, you can apologize to the woman. You can say, hey, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. Sounds like it sucks. I can only imagine. If there's something I can do, let me know. That's all you got to say.
True.
30 seconds of speech. And then he can get mad at you. Why does he get mad at you? Because you're fucking right.
Yep.
Does that solve the problem? No. In the next game, there needs to be someone else like you.
Yep.
And in the next game, there needs to be someone else like you.
Yep.
And I guarantee you that if that person plays 10 games in a row where there's a single person that's like, hey, man, why don't you lay off? They're going to shut the fuck up on game 11. They're not even going to do it. You're not going to convince them of anything.
Yep.
And that is about as well as you can put it. Shout out to Dr. K. Anyway, just wanted to talk about that because I thought that video was just incredibly dumb, but it's even dumber how much attention in likes in respect that it got.
This?
So
what is this clickbait?
Lay off. See you later, boys.